Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on top 7 mobile banking security tips. This webinar will be presented by Mr. Nikhil More. Nikhil is an online marketing expert at Quick Heal Technologies Limited and has over 9 years of experience into digital marketing and has a passion for technology, usability, and photography. Nikhil is also a recognized expert in the internet marketing strategies for the antivirus industry. At Quick Heal, Nikhil is associated with the cybersecurity program, which is the company's corporate social responsibility initiative. Now I will hand over the proceedings of this webinar to Nikhil.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's webinar on top 7 mobile banking security tips. We would be very soon breaking for the Diwali vacation. Before that, this is the festival season, and we realize the importance of letting our customers know across the globe about what are the tips that they should keep in mind when they're shopping online, especially during these festive seasons. This webinar will be the recording of this webinar will be hosted on the YouTube channel for QuickHeal, and the presentation would be hosted on slideshare.net. In case you have any questions, we will have a question and answer session post this webinar presentation. I will try and answer as many questions as possible. In case you have questions for later, you can send those questions to corporate communications at quickheal.co.in, and we will do our best to answer all these questions. At the end of this webinar, we would be sharing with you a link to know your feedback about the webinar as to did you like the presentation. Please rate us on the scale of 1 to 5. We would like to know your opinion and your suggestions, if any, about making improvements to this webinar. Without any further ado, let's begin with today's presentation. So before we begin the webinar, let me bring you a very important quick fact. As you can see on your screen, India especially comes second on the list of cyber attacks directed towards mobile phone users. Second most attacked country when it comes to crimes used for targeted towards the mobile operating system. Most of these attacks are phishing attacks aimed at users' banking information. This was recently published in the IndiaExpress.com. So in this webinar, what we will discuss in detail. First thing is the most common types of mobile banking threats. We will look into details as to what these threats are. Second, what are the top 7 mobile banking security tips to follow or just to keep in mind when you are doing the mobile banking? And third is how does QuickHeal provide a safe and a secure mobile banking experience to its customers using the QuickHeal mobile security software. Before we begin, I would like to bring up an opinion poll and I would like to know your opinion about if you receive a link on your WhatsApp message and that's from an unknown contact, will you click on it? It's a simple question. If you receive a link in your WhatsApp message, WhatsApp is a very commonly used chat messaging system service, very popular in the world. It was recently in the news because Facebook acquired WhatsApp. So if you receive a link in your WhatsApp message and that's from an unknown contact, a person whom you don't know, who sends you this link, will you click on it? The 3 options for you are: one is the first answer is yes, you will click on the link. The second is no, you will not click on the link. And the third is I don't know if I should click on the link or not. Well, that's all right. It's easy, it's all right if you don't know what else should be done in certain situations. But if you have an opinion about clicking on a certain link on WhatsApp, why don't you share your opinion with us and we will see as to which is the correct option of choosing your actions when it comes to receiving message on a very popular uh, messaging site like WhatsApp. I've close to about 65% of today's audience casted their vote. Let's wait for another 10 to 15 seconds before everyone casts their vote. I can still see a lot of people joining us recently, for our webinars. People are still coming in, so we would like to even wait for people who recently joined our webinar. Okay, I have close to about 75% of today's audience casted their vote. Uh, I think I should close this opinion poll now, and I think everyone has casted their vote. So let me close this opinion poll and share the results with you. Okay, so the opinion poll shares the results. 75% of today's audience says no, you should not click, or they will not click on links received from unknown sources. Pat on your back audit, that's the correct option to do. Although 14% of audience says yes, they will click on the link. 11% of today's audience feels that they are not sure if they should click on the link or not. But for people who have voted yes, it's uh, it's a recommendation from a security enterprise like Wikil that you should not click on unknown links. If you remember, as children, we all were taught by our parents a few ground rules, and those rules were don't accept things from strangers, don't open your door for strangers, don't talk or with strangers. These rules were taught to us keeping in mind things that you never know the motive of the stranger. He could be a good person, he could be a bad person, he could be a cyber criminal when it comes to social networking and internet. So don't blindly trust on any of these links. If you're not sure, talk to your friends about if they have received such kind of message. Search on the internet if such kind of message exists. Because if it is something genuine, there are a high probability that you will receive some or the other information about this particular link that you have received. But for people who said don't know, I would suggest you not to click on those links if you have specially received it from an unknown source. The chances of your friend sending a fake link is very less, but still, if it's an unknown source, the ground rule, don't click on those links. Let's move forward. What are the most common types of mobile banking threats that we would like to talk about? The first is fake banking apps. Now, very interesting. In 2013 and 14, more than 4,000 South Korean mobile banking customers, many of them who were lured by the chance of watching the movie Interview, unwittingly downloaded fake apps that siphoned millions of their accounts. The threat of fake mobile banking apps is more serious in countries where Google Play is not accessible and users have to install their apps from third party stores that do not have a proper auditing processes to keep their sites clean of fake banking apps. As mobile banking applications have increased in popularity, so has the risk of downloading and installing a fraudulent app that could draw your account information and potentially any other data sorted on your mobile device. The trend still is in infancy, but there already have been instances of potential fraud. Uh, in December, Google Inc. pulled 50 applications from the Android market online app store in response to concerns that they may be malicious. Google keeps on doing these checks time and again. All these apps were uploaded by the same uh, developer, the same person who programmer, and had claimed to offer access to bank accounts from a wide variety of institutions, from big companies like in the US, the JP Morgan Chase and Company, HSBC Holdings PLC, US Bank Corp, USSA, ING, GR, OEP, NV to a lot of credit unions. This information was recently published in the Outlaw articles. Second is unsecured Wi-Fi. This is a very grave concern, and let's talk more about unsecured Wi-Fi based transactions. So every time a mobile banking customer uses unsecured wireless networks to deposit checks or to pay bills or to move money between their accounts, they risk falling prey to cyber crooks who can eavesdrop on their sensitive information. This is because since the Wi-Fi network is not protected, whatever information you exchange it over can be easily seen and stolen by the cyberstalker who could be using the same network. The risk is compounded because smartphones are always on. Now that you know how easy it is for someone to eavesdrop on your Wi-Fi, here is how you should use a public hotspot with some knowledge of security. Now, every time you log on to a website, make sure that your connection is encrypted. Uh, by encrypted, I mean the URL address of that website needs to start with HTTPS instead of HTTP. You also need to make sure that the connection stays encrypted for all the session that you have. So once you log in, after that, everything you do, the session needs to be encrypted. Some websites, including Facebook, will encrypt your login and then return to an unsecured session. This has a high chance of leaving you unsecured, and there could be a potential chance of hacking attack being done. Many sites give you the options of encrypting your entire session. You can do this with Facebook by enabling secure browsing in the browser setting uh, of your browser. So when you check your email or try to log in via the web browser and ensure that your connection is encrypted. Again, look for the HTTPS at the beginning of the URL. If you're using an email client such as Outlook, make sure your POP3 or IMAP or SMTP accounts are configured with encryption turned on. Never use FTP, that's file transfer protocol, or any other services that are not encrypted. To encrypt your web browsing and all other online activity, use a virtual private network, more commonly known as VPN. Keep in mind, private networks have similar vulnerabilities. Anyone nearby can eavesdrop on a network. Enabling a WPA or a WPA2 security will encrypt the Wi-Fi traffic, obscuring the actual communication, while anyone who has that password will be able to snoop into on the packets traveling over the networks. So, if you want to summarize, never use a unsecured Wi-Fi network if the page on which you are using the information, the site is not encrypted. Let's move on. Phishing attacks. So mobile users are 3 times more vulnerable to phishing attacks. Phishing actually is the most oldest and most effective tools of which are used by hackers these days. By sending such users fake emails, which look like they have been sent by a reputed, it could be an online shopping store like an Amazon, or it could be from a very well-known financial institutions or your banks. They try to trick the users into revealing their personal or financial information. Phishing carrying out via SMS is also known as smishing. Here, an attacker will send a fake SMS with a phishing link to a large group of users. This SMS will carry an urgent note reading out which 9 out of 10 users will click on the link and land on a phishing website. Nowadays, WhatsApp is being increasingly used for phishing attacks. Attackers are increasingly hacking bank apps simply because of the fact that increasing mobile users involve more money. Android users in more than 20 countries have been infected with a particularly aggressive malware program that bombards devices with unwanted advertisements. Researchers found that this malicious component, nicknamed Chemoge, has been seeded inside what appears to be a legitimate app offered on a third-party application store other than Google Play. Whoever created this Chemoje repackaged the legitimate apps with the malware and then promoted them on websites and through in-apps ads to persuade people to download them. Third-party app stores are considered risky places to download Android apps as hackers frequently upload malicious apps to them. Google performs a security check on the apps in the app environment that they have, which is the Google Play Store. Although harmful ones occasionally sneak in, Kimoke not only displays unwanted ads, but it also loads with 8 root exploits that targets a wide range of Android devices. A successful attack using these exploits means that the attacker would have a complete control over your device. The next one is the mobile malware. Now, many legitimate apps have been seen over the past few years to have opened serious data leakages. Only recently, we have seen that the discovery of the Android's straight fright vulnerability, pegged as the worst Android bug till date. Receiving a simple MMS message with a crafted exploited code and without any interact from the victim, a hacker is able to do anything from stealing private communications to possibly taking control of the complete device by itself. In September this year, we saw Xghost code, which highlights the Apple App Store isn't immune to serving up compromised apps. The Xcode development tool are used by iOS app makers. The original package was copied, modified, and redistributed to download. Apps built using the modified version were injected with malicious codes, then published to the App Store. Mobile malware is a problem and is getting big even with the increasing growth of the mobile market. There is a concern that enterprise decision makers may misinterpret such reports and may not take mobile security as seriously as they should. Enterprises should be very concerned about mobile threats as this not only includes mobile malware but also mobile vulnerabilities and the data loss through mobile devices. Inferior security is the very big concern. Most mobile banking apps do not have required level of security that they should have. In order to protect consumers from all types of threats, for instance, uh, a link within the app may not be encrypted, and this is what makes the users vulnerable to hackers. Mobile banking is now being used more and more day by day, so it should not be surprised if you see some Trojan trying to hit these users as well. There are currently over 15 million infected mobile devices worldwide, a 20% increase from 2013. Given the rise in popularity of mobile banking, criminals have begun paying closer attention to this emerging mobile channel and the opportunity it presents for them. This is clear indicator that mobile malware is on the rise and will become more prevalent over the next few years. A security researcher found out that 90% of the tested banking apps initiated several non-encrypted connections during their operation. This allows attackers who can intercept the traffic, for example, on an insecure wireless network, to inject an arbitrary JavaScript on an HTML code, for example, to display a fake login prompts to apps users, or to launch any other social engineering attacks. The University of Cambridge research reported and ZDNet they found 88% of more than 20,000 Android devices surveyed were not patched against one or more of 11 critical vulnerabilities made public in the last 5 years. This brings us to another opinion poll. Let me bring up this opinion poll for you. This opinion poll has been placed again on popular demand and on queries that have been uh, raised on our blog section time and again. And this is one of the most critical things that people should know and not to be ignored at any cost. The question is, which of these forms are the strongest form of a password? I will repeat the question. Which one of these is the strongest form of a password? The first one is letters and numbers, as you can see, password and the number. The second is only numbers. The third is a combination of uppercase, lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. And the fourth one is only letters. I would like to know from today's audience what is their opinion about creating a strong password. Which one do you think is the strongest of all? Password with letters and numbers only? Password with numbers only? Password with and letters in upper and lowercase, numbers and special characters, or password with letters only? I have close to about 85% of today's audience casted their vote. I would wait for another 10 seconds before everyone casts their vote so we can close this opinion poll and share the results with the fine audience today. I think all of our audience have casted their votes. I will now close this opinion poll and share the results with you. Wow, 98% of today's audience has voted for option 3, which is password in uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. There are still 2% people who have voted for only numbers, 0 for password with letters and numbers, and 0 for password with letters only. Well, pat your back, audience. This is exactly what should be done. Your password needs to be strong. So when I say your password needs to be strong, it needs to be in uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers. Well done, audience. For audience who have voted their passwords to be only numbers, well, the most common passwords list is published on the internet. If you look at the most common passwords of 2014, the top 5 passwords were only numbers that were used. This is not a good practice to do, as this makes hacking of your account vulnerable to attackers. Moving on with the presentation. Top 7 mobile banking tips to follow. Tip 1. Always install mobile banking apps or any app for that matter only from official stores. If you're using an Android device, use it from the Google Play. If you're using the iPhone, do it from the App Store. The integrity or safety of a mobile app largely depends on its publisher. You might come across dozens of banking apps for your smartphone, but trust only the one that has been officially released by your bank. And the safest way to do this is by visiting your bank's official website and following their instructions on how to download their app. Tip 2 is avoid using banking apps on free unsecured Wi-Fi networks available in cafes, airports, hotels, etc., especially while doing banking transactions. As you've seen, using unsecured public Wi-Fi are not always uh, a secure thing to do, unless you must sign up with your credentials every time and the page is encrypted. The same goes for the mobile banking apps. The information which you pass over such free unprotected networks can be easily stolen or intercepted by any hacker. It is always advisable to use your cellular internet data whenever you want to use your app for any kind of online shopping or banking activity. The next tip is avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments that come with unexpected or unknown emails or messages in your, so it might be an SMS or it might be the popular messaging channels like WhatsApp or any other channels for that reason. Mobile banking might also mean visiting mobile sites of your bank. While doing so, never click on a link received in an SMS or an email that claims to be have come from a bank's website. Access the website directly from your mobile browser. Also, never share any information about your bank over email, SMS, or a phone call. Tip 4. Once you've completed your activity, always log out from that screen. Avoid clicking on the options like remember me or keep me logged in. Remember, once you sign in into your account, it is imperative, very important for you to sign out or log out of the mobile banking app or the shopping app once you are done using it. Most banking apps automatically log you out after a fixed interval of time, but in case you want to be extra or double sure, make sure you log it out yourself. Next is never store your banking information like your login ID or password, your credit card or your debit card number, or its CVV number, etc. on your mobile phone. It's it sounds convenient, honestly, especially for people who have a very busy schedule. Uh, it sounds very convenient to save it on the store and keep it handy at the times when you need it. But it actually spells disaster under various circumstances. Say, for example, God may not, but in case you lose your phone or if somebody steals your phone, then all the data that you've stored inside your phone is lost. So, you know, try and avoid storing such information in your devices. I know a lot of people have this information of writing it down somewhere. If you're writing it down somewhere, make sure you keep it in a safe place or you share it only with people whom you trust the most. Secure your phone with a pin or a password. So if your phone gets lost or stolen, it might be your biggest liability if it is accessed by people whom you don't want to, maybe a thief or somebody. All your information, including the apps running on your phone, especially your shopping apps, could be easily exploited by anyone who has no intention of returning the device to you. Hence, to avoid such dreadful situations, always keep your phone on an auto lock mode. You may choose from options such as PIN, password, pattern, or face recognition mode. Using a PIN or a password is the most recommended way to secure your device. Use a reliable mobile security app. To conclude, this is equally important that a mobile security app that you're using is the optimum one. Although the security app won't add the safety to your banking app, it will ensure that you do not land on a fake or a malicious website designed to steal your personal and banking information. Furthermore, the app will also block fake and malicious apps from getting installed on your device. How does QuickHeal help in providing a safe and secure mobile banking experience? Let's look into this. So the QuickHeal Total Security for Android protects you from all types of mobile banking threats. These are the features of the app. Anti-phishing. Now the anti-phishing feature blocks fake and phishing websites, keeping your personal and banking information safe. Background scan. The QuickHeal Total Security for Android inspects every downloaded app to ensure the app is not harmful. Delete personal data. This feature in the Quick Heal Total Security for Android helps you to erase sensitive data like your user ID or your passwords, and to do it securely so that it does not get misused by malicious apps or hackers. Call or message filter. This feature blocks the unwanted numbers, reducing the risks of phishing attacks perpetrated via calls or SMS. Privacy Advisor. This helps identifying apps such as the banking apps whose permission may affect your privacy. This is all for today, folks. In case you have any queries regarding this webinar, you can write to us at corporatecommunications@quickheal.co.in. Follow us on our Facebook channel, which is facebook.com/quickhealav. You can follow our Twitter handle, which is twitter.com/quickheal, or follow us on Google Plus page, which is the bit.ly URL for the same is bit.ly/quickheal Google Plus. This webinar, as I said before, would be hosted on the YouTube channel for Quickheal, which is youtube.com/quickheal. And this presentation would be hosted on SlideShare. The URL for it is slideshare.net/quickhealppts. For more information on Quickheal products, visit quickheal.com. To know more about the current happenings in the security world, visit us at blogs.quickheal.com. We will now begin with the Q&A session. Okay, the first question that we have today is the one-time passcodes or the unique code sent by a bank for transaction is secure, or can hacker steal it? Now, this one-time password that is shared by the bank is called as OTP, more frequently known as OTPs. This is sent by the banks as an extra layer of security. So you're using your debit card or a credit card. Uh, so while using your debit card, you have the card number, the CVV code printed on the card, and you also might be using a 3D authentication by putting a password to it. Now, what is the extra layer of security that the bank does? Say, for example, your card gets stolen and the thief is trying to use your card. He won't be able to use your card because the OTP that is generated when trying to do the transaction is sent to your mobile phones. So that way, this adds to an extra layer of security. That way, the OTPs or the one-time passwords are very secure. We have another question, which is what should be the minimum length of a secure password? So, the minimum length that is requested by all websites is a character limit of 6 characters. So, minimum should be 6. The maximum, I believe, is at times it is anywhere between 12 to 18 characters. But anything more than 6 characters should be it's basically a recommendation to have a strong password. Uh, I have another question from Smriti Ranjan. Is antivirus software required for Android phones? Well, as I explained in my webinar today, there are many things that you need protection from, especially links to malicious sites, to hacking sites, because that's the real danger there. Somebody is trying to steal information from you by asking you to come to malicious sites. You need to have some layer of protection there, and also protection against unwanted callers, spammers, to keep yourself safe from any bad doings by these cyber criminals. So the answer is yes, you need a antivirus software in for using it on your Android phones. We have another question. Nice one. Why is face recognition less preferred than a password or a PIN? Well, the face recognition is a secure way of logging in, but more important is if you have a password which is strong enough, which cannot be cracked, makes it literally unstealable for it. Say, for example, if something happens to your device, the front camera of your device, and the device is not able to recognize your face, the camera is not able to recognize your face, then you will not be able to use your device. So having a password or a PIN is always helpful. At least you can use a device in that case. Google and App Store is mentioned in your webinar. What about Windows Store? Do they filter unwanted apps? Yes, Windows also has a lot of apps these days which they filter and they use. So Windows also has a very good security on the apps that is on the Windows Store. Okay, how would you know if your mobile phone is infected or not? Uh, if you want to know if your mobile phone is infected or not, there are a few tips that might happen. Some of the symptoms, in case the mobile phone gets hacked, is you get a lot of pop-up messages on your phone. Uh, this is one reason. This is one tip I would say. But most dangerously, if you you wanted to find regarding the safety, is once you lose the data on your phone, which is especially regarding a banking software, uh, even if your phone is not infected by a malware, it doesn't matter because your financial information is in the hand of the criminal. So it's no good again. We have a question from Vidya. Sometimes the bank websites which you are trying to access is not accessible for some reason. Reason could be page is not available. Should we log in again and log off, or is it automatically logged off? Vidya, this is always a good practice in case you are trying to log into to the banking app and it says the page is not available. Try to hit the back screen. You might your session might still be active on your mobile device. Try and log out with that session. Now, keep if you keep the session alive, it means that you're still logged in into that account. Just merely closing the app or shutting down all the apps does not log you out. So if you can try logging off from the device from the app itself. I hope this answers your question. How do we protect automatically accessing the OTP SMS in Android apps? So this is a very common question being asked to us even in our blogs. When it comes to reading of SMSs, this is especially happening with apps for whom you have given permissions to read your SMS. See, please try and understand this very important thing. When you're talking about apps in general which you're installing on your Android devices, make sure you read the permissions that are required for an app. Say for example, I am downloading a gaming app and that gaming app is asking for the administrative privileges for my device. Well, why? This is a question that I would ask to myself, that why would a gaming app ask for device administrator privileges? It's a permission that is not required by that app. Understand, once you give this device administrator privileges to any app, they are literally the owners of your device. They can do anything with your device. Say the app is not a genuine and a fake one, then all the information in your device is at stake. It might be, a chance where this information might be used against you, or the chances are that you might lose such information. So always look for permissions that you are giving to all your apps. This way you can tighten the security of your device by uninstalling apps which ask for unnecessary permissions. I hope this answers your question. We have a question. Do we have a quick heal antivirus for non-Android phones, like the Windows phone? No, the quick heal total security for Android is only for Android operating system at the moment. Okay, we have another question. You have spoken about security on Android and Apple operating systems. What about Windows? Okay, this is a very good suggestion. We will take this up suggestion with our product development team, and we'll definitely share this feedback of yours to see if we can come up with a security app for the Windows operating system for Windows phones. We have another question. Is QuickHeal's mobile antivirus free? Well, Manoj, we have two applications, rather three applications here. The QuickHeal Mobile Security, which is the basic level of security, is a free app for everyone. Then we have a paid app, which is the QuickHeal Total Security for Android, which has features like cloud backup and everything, which is a paid app. And we have another app, which is for the optimum utilization of your Android device, which is called as Fantastic, which is again a freemium version of the app. We have another question regarding passwords. I have multiple bank accounts. Can I maintain one password for all? Well, it's a recommendation not to do that. Uh, See, imagine a situation wherein you have multiple locks in your house, and all the locks can be opened with a single key. It is the same situation here. If you lose that key, uh, the security of your apps is at stake. So that way, keeping separate passwords for every account, especially your bank accounts, is always advisable. Make sure all the apps have unique passwords, and they all these passwords are as strong as the other. Uh, is mobile payment safe when we use mobile payment gateways using mobile devices? Yes, making mobile payments is safe, but you just need to make sure of a few things. Whenever you are making a payment, your page is encrypted. By this I mean the page needs to be HTTPS instead of an HTTP. So that way you'll make sure that any information you enter on those pages that is encrypted. If I have downloaded an app that gives permission to read SMS, how do I cancel the permission to read maps? Well, sir, the thing is, once you have downloaded the app and given the app the permission to read SMS, these permissions cannot be changed. You don't have the privileges of changing apps permissions on the apps on the Android device platform at the moment. What you can do is you can remove the app. That is the best way to do. But at the moment, you don't have privileges of changing permissions on any app. Is there a combination of Quick Heal Total security software for PC and a mobile in a single pack? No, sir, we don't have a combo of all the packs. We have different products which can be bought separately, or if you want to buy it from our e-store on our website, you can come and buy all the products together. But these products are sold separately by Quick Heal. I have already bought Quick Heal for my laptop. Can I buy Quick Heal for Android phone also? You can buy it separately from our website, from our e-store. You can visit us at quickheal.com and visit us on the mobile section where you can buy the Quick Heal Total Security for $7 or rupees 449 for Indian customers. How can we download this app from Google Play Store? Well, visit Google Play Store and search for Quick Heal Mobile Security, and you'll find all the apps listed by Quick Heal there. There is an app called as Quick Heal Total Security. You can directly buy this app from that page. Quick Heal app for Windows Phone, or is it available on Windows Phone? No, Prasad, we do not have an app for the Windows operating system at the moment. We have an app for the Android operating system. Okay, another important question. Some apps ask for permission to use our location. Is it safe to say yes? Well, for the moment, you can say yes. Say, for example, if you are trying to find a restaurant where you would like to have lunch or dinner, a restaurant which is nearby to your current location, you can say yes for turning on the GPS for the moment. But remember, once you are using, your purpose is met, you found out a restaurant or you found out the nearest place near your location, please remember to turn off that GPS. There are two aspects here. One, the app would be continuously locating your location no matter where you go if your GPS is turned on. Secondly, the GPS functionality in itself, at times drains a lot of battery because since it has to, keep your location updated on very frequent intervals, this eats up a lot of your battery life. So make sure once you use your GPS functionality, you turn it off on your Android device or on your iOS also. See. Okay, there's another question saying, okay, how do you make sure the Wi-Fi connection is secure? Okay. Uh, to answer this question, whenever you are notified about a Wi-Fi service available, if the Wi-Fi has a padlock symbol and a WPA authentication or a WPA2 authentication turned on, which means that that Wi-Fi is a secure Wi-Fi to know. If you're using Wi-Fi to do non-banking activities, then it is safe, but make sure that wherever you're using a Wi-Fi, uh, the there is an encryption always available when you're logging into the session and throughout the entire session. So wherever you're doing it, make sure that the entire session is encrypted. Secondly, don't go log on to Wi-Fi's whom you don't trust, especially public Wi-Fi's where you can just log on to any Wi-Fi without any password, without any security check. uh, it's recommended not to do banking, at least not to do the banking transactions or shopping transactions using those, because anyone with malicious intent will be able to read the data packets that you're exchanging, the information that you're exchanging there. Okay, I think we are done with all the questions for today. So it's a request again to all our attendees of today's webinar. Please do let us know your feedback about this webinar. At the end of this session, you will be shared a link for a survey where we would like to know your opinion about today's session and today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining us in today's session. I wish all our attendees a very happy Diwali and wish you loads and loads of happiness and success. God bless. Now handing over the session to Saurabh to conclude.
Thank you everyone for being with us for this webinar. We hope this webinar has helped you understand the top 7 mobile banking security tips in a better manner. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.